For number 27 and 28, remember that we learned with an isosceles triangle that we have two sides that are congruent, which means two angles are congruent. Those angles that are congruent are called base angles. The angle that is not congruent is called the vertex angle. So on number 27, we are given the vertex angle to be 5x minus 1, and each of the base angles to be 4x plus 6. And we want to know the degree measure, not the value of x, but the degree measure of each one of the base angles. So we know all three angles have to add up to be 180 degrees. So, by the way, the parentheses are not really necessary because there's nothing to distribute or an exponent to apply. So we have one vertex angle, and then we have the base angle 2 times. So we have 4x plus 6 plus 4x plus 6. And all three of those angles have to add up to be 180 degrees. So make sure you only have one vertex angle, but the base angle you have twice. And so now we can combine the like terms. We have 5x plus 4x, which is 13x. And then we have a negative 1, 6, and 6 that combine to get 11. So we can solve that equation by subtracting 11 from both sides and then dividing by 13, and we get our value of x to be 13. But that's not what the question asked for. It asked us for the degree measure, and you're going to have to pay attention on the test. It asked for a base angle, but it could have asked for the vertex angle as well. So that tells you which one you're going to put your x in for. So since it asked us for the base angle, we're using the 4x plus 6. We're putting in 13 in for the x. So we have 4 times 13 is 52, plus 6 is 58. So the answer to the question is 58 degrees is the base angles. You could also check it by putting in and finding the measure of the vertex angle. So you'd have 5 times 13, which is 65, minus 1 is 64. So you could check to make sure that that works with the triangle sum theorem. You have a 64-degree angle for the vertex angle, and then you have 2 of the 58-degree angles for the base angles. So you'd have 28, 13, 180. So just double making sure that those do indeed add up to be 180 degrees. But your answer is for the base angle, which is 58 degrees. On number 28, you need to apply the information given onto the figure. So you're given the measure of angle CBD, which is this angle, is congruent to measure of angle CDB, which is this angle, which tells me that this triangle is isosceles. Since those angles are congruent, they would be the base angles. So these would be the congruent sides, which means this angle is the vertex angle up here. We're given the measure of angle ABC to be 118. So this obtuse angle out here is 118 degrees. And DCE, we're given the expression 4x4. And we're supposed to find the value of x. So the first thing that we can notice is that we have a linear pair between this base angle and this 118-degree angle. So if I subtract 118 from 180, that gives me this angle right here to be 62 degrees. Since it's one of my base angles, that means the other base angle is also 62 degrees. So now I can find the measure of my vertex angle by adding the 62 and 62 together, which gives me 124 degrees, and then subtracting that from 180 to get the vertex angle to be 56 degrees. So my vertex angle is 56 degrees. So now I can find the measure of this angle that I'm given the expression 4x for, because it makes a linear pair with my vertex angle. So if I subtract the 56 from 180, I get 124 degrees for this exterior angle, which means the 4x has to equal the 124 degrees. So now to solve for x, all I have to do is divide by 4, and I get x equals 31. And that's all I was supposed to do, is find the value of x. So if x is 31, 31 times 4 is 124. Together with the 56 makes the 180 degrees there.